everyone, and welcome to White Bear Lake Area High School for tonight's volleyball action between the visiting Park Wolfpack with a record of 1-7 and the hometown White Bear Lake Bears with a record of 3-3. My name is JP Doherty, along with camera op and director Alex Ritchie. We'll be bringing you all the action here from White Bear tonight. White Bear trying to rebound from a heartbreaker, but 3-2 loss to Anoka last night, as they were up 2-0, but fell 3-2. Park, they're looking to get off the schneid after a 3-0 loss to New Life Academy their last time out. Must remind you, White Bear Lake High School is thrilled to spotlight their teams, coaches, and student athletes on our top-of-the-line streaming service with RICCI Media Group. Thank you for watching. As White Bear Lake we at RICCI Media Group are working in partnership with White Bear Lake Area High School to bring you this broadcast. RICCI Media Group is supported by the sponsors advertising. Remember, a percentage of every sponsorship dollar goes directly to White Bear Lake Area High School. You can check out archive games and highlights at RICCI Media Group's website, riccimediagroup.com, for those current and archive games. But more about this game here tonight. Park struggling this year, 1-7 after a team that went 24-4 last year, made it to the section semifinals where they lost to Eastridge, but not a very good start for the Wolfpack. They started out 0-6, finally got on the board with a 3-2 win over St. Paul Central, and then that 3-0 loss to New Life Academy that I mentioned. These two teams met last year. Park took it out 3-1 at Park, and now they get the return match this year at White Bear Lake. White Bear, on the other hand, they were 17-13 last year, lost 3-0 to Roseville in the section semis. Started out 2-0 on the year with wins over Hutchinson and Hill Murray, then that 3-0 loss to Roseville, 3-1 over Matamidi, and then 2 losses, Eastridge and that heartbreaker last night to Anoka. So definite bounce back evening potential for White Bear Lake against a team that doesn't have a great record. Park lost a whole lot from last year on a team that went 24-4. So chance to get another win in the win column for White Bear tonight. Should be a good one. White Bear led by their hitters, Martha Caligari, Pearl Nimioya, and Reagan Farmer do the bulk of the work, but in terms of the kills, but I think their best player, at least last night that I saw, was Kaylee Giske, their libero. And volleyball is a game where 90% of it is the pass and the set. The hitters are what get all the glory, but 90% of what sets up your game is your pass and your set. And the libero for White Bear Lake, Kaylee Giske, does a fantastic job, whether it's digging the ball out or just getting a clean pass away. So I think she's going to be one to watch tonight for the Bears. Up against Park, it's a bit of a rebuilding roster. They lost a whole bunch from last year. Only have 5 seniors on the entirety of the JV and varsity roster combined. So very young outfit for Park. White Bear have 6 on the varsity alone. So we're just about 5 minutes or so away from game time here on RICCIMediaGroup.com. Glad to be along with you for tonight's action. As you watch White Bear go through their serves here, but of course you can't see that. Your graphics up there, so that's okay. But at least what I'm watching is White Bear going through their serving practice here on the floor. And they'll swap out, and Park will then take their final 2-minute warm-up there. As we're down to 4 minutes to go before the start of this one. Park will be in the white uniforms tonight. White Bear will be in the black. Again, one final plea before we get underway. RICCI Media Group is looking for sponsors to sponsor these broadcasts and to help support White Bear Lake Area High School athletics, activities, and academics. So you can email sales@RICCIMediaGroup.com. That's sales@RICCIMediaGroup.com. If you want to sponsor this broadcast and have your company's logo up at points during the broadcast, we'd love to have you on board the team. So email sales@RICCIMediaGroup.com today. But just under a minute here until starting lineups and national anthem, as White Bear going through their final bit of warm-ups. I think it's going to be key for Coach Mackenzie Leverty for White Bear Lake just to, flush last night's game out of the memory. Or at least remember the first two sets that were good. I mean, and then Anoka just sort of woke up the last, especially third and fourth set. The fifth set was close, ended up 16-14. But those first two sets were dominant for White Bear, 25-17 and 25-15 in those two sets. So they can summon up some of that magic that they had in those first two sets last night and just keep it going for three sets this time. I mean, they'll be the heavy favorites in here tonight, considering Park started just 1-7 on the year. But this time we'll hand off to our PA announcer for starting lineups and national anthem. Game coming at you right after this. All righty, folks, with that, we're just about ready for some volleyball action here on this Tuesday evening. White Bear Lake will be hitting from left to right on your screens. Park hitting from right to left. White Bear in the black. The white-shirted libero, Kaylee Giske. And then Park will be in the white. The green-shirted libero, Amaya de los Santos, who's just an 8th grader, by the way. As it'll be Park to serve to get us underway. It'll be Allison Rice, the Park setter, to serve. The junior gets us underway. Giske. On the return for White Bear, they'll set it up for the lefty, Martina Caligari, and she gets the opening kill of tonight's game. And Caligari, fresh off the kill, will head back to serve. That'll be an ace. An excellent start for Caligari. Kill plus an ace. Start her night. Always a little different facing a lefty than it is facing a righty. That's going to be a net violation right there. And Park will get on the board here at 2-1. London Blanchard now serving for the Wolfpack. And he puts that one in the net. On the service error, it's a 3-1 White Bear Lake lead. Scotty Pearson serves. Senior captain, that's an easy overpass kill for Addison Lee. Lee puts up her first kill tonight on board the middle. That's her and Maya Link will rule that middle of the court for White Bear. That's tapped over the blockers, dug out there by Abby Meyer. Set by Giske and straight into the block party. There from Reagan Farmer. She'll get another chance at it. Elevated that one, and De Los Santos there to dig it out for Park. Free ball coming for White Bear Lake. Caligari digs it out in the middle. Set there for Addison Lee, and she gets another one on the board. Set left side here for Farmer. De Los Santos tried to dig it out. That's going to get caught up in the Raptors, but it's still alive for the Wolfpack. And no, another one, unfortunately, hitting the Raptors that time. And that gets it out to a 6-1 lead for the Bears here early. They want to see Park burning a timeout, and they do. So Park will burn their first timeout of the set. And a barnstorming start here for White Bear Lake. They lead it 6-1 here early on in the first set. Coming out of the timeout, it's been an excellent start here for White Bear Lake. They lead it 6-1 here early on in this first set. Pearson to continue serving out of the timeout. As the senior captain lets fly. Tough one here for Park, and they'll just have to bump it over on 3 through Emily Vargas. Free ball coming for White Bear Lake. Back set, right side, and getting it through the blockers, Layla Otto, the sophomore. She had a good crack at that one. Otto also does some setting for White Bear when Abby Meyer's off the court, but Meyer, the primary setter for White Bear, as that one hit the line, apparently. I thought that might have been a little long. But it's an ace for Pearson. Her first of the evening. And it's a 9-1 lead, White Bear. Yeah, I guess I did have it right earlier. It's the scoreboard that had it right. They'll go back row here for Reagan Farmer, and she'll get a kill. And the dominance continues here for White Bear early on. Pearson to continue serving at 10-1. Puts that one in there. De Los Santos on the return. And straight into the net there from Sophia Field. (11-1) lead now for White Bear. When do you burn that second time out if you're Park? Pearson floats another one in there. De Los Santos had to dive to save it. Vargas will just float it over on 3. Giske there. Set middle, and Lee got it too much on that one. And Park finally get one back. Make it 11-2. Maya De Los Santos, the 8th grader, serves. Set middle, tapped over by Otto. And free ball coming here as De Los Santos gets it over on 3. Farm. Missed it. Tried the corner. But couldn't find it. And that gets it to an 11-3 game. De Los Santos to continue serving. There's some good power behind that serve for an 8th grader. That'll be a kill for Lee. Her third of the evening. And Lee will head back to serve. Whacked out from the 10-foot line for Park, as now they'll set it for Farmer on the left-hand side. No good. A couple errors from Reagan Farmer in the last few points. Now it's Eva Perrin, a sophomore, serves for the Wolfpack. Yeah, that one got big there on Maddie Pearson, but able to get it back over. Through the blockers, but Otto there to cover. Farmer. Ooh! That hit the line apparently. Maybe a little bit of home cooking there from the line judge. I thought that was long. As Otto will head back to serve. Again, the line judge is all the way down there, and I'm way up here. Sarah Messias on the dig out, and all sorts of trouble there for the Wolfpack. And the ball control has just been a whole lot better here for White Bear in this game, as they lead at 14-4. Another hard flat serve to the back there from Otto. Now they wind it up there for, can't even see her number with the ponytail. As they'll set it up to her again. Tapped over the blockers, but covered there by White Bear Lake. Farmer will have a go. Another dig out by, I think that's 27. I got to figure out who the heck that is when her ponytail stops blocking her number. Bumped over on 3. Bump set, right side. The lefty gets stuffed as Caligari went right into a block party, but Hart can't get it over. And the White Bear up 15-4. Dominant start for the Bears. Clark has already burned one timeout in this set, and that might have been going long. It was played by Sias anyways, and that's a nice, really loud. It's 21, Amina Alawonle was the one that I was trying to identify with her long ponytail. The Sias is there, floats over onto the White Bears side, back set, right side. Caligari finds the vacant spot in the defense. And White Bear is cruising along in this first set. 17-4. Otto serves again. Could be an overpass here, and is simple there for Maya Link. She gets on the board tonight. As Otto continues serve. Sias on the return. Bumped over on 2. And Otto had to scramble to get there. Farmer has a rip. Out there by Vargas. Swung at and tipped up into the air. That actually didn't work out for White Bear. The Link tipped it up, and it actually went right down that soft spot in the middle of the defense. As Alawonle will head back to serve. That one's long. It's never good to have any service errors, but a service error right when you get the serve back is always a killer, especially when you're down by this much early on in a set. That serve was absolutely ripped by Reagan Farmer, and as Sias could only deflect it out into the stands. 20-5, White Bear Lake. Both De Los Santos and Asias went for that one. Tapped over on 3. Yeski there. Back set. Right side for Caligari. Dug out there by Kyan Lee. Taking a swing at that one. Cross court. Dug out by Yeski. And, Pearl Ninioya. A nice dig there by Lee. As Lee bumps it over on 3. That'll get tangled up in the rafters. Be a White Bear Lake point. 21-5 in favor of the Bears. That one was probably going long. Isias played it anyway, as it got on her with such speed. And all of a sudden, White Bears 3 points away from taking this set. Park hasn't burned that second time out of the set yet. They may not do it, as this has been an absolute rout. Another ace. Reagan Farmer. She has 3 aces to go along with her 2 kills. Not bad. Another just ripped serve. I think it was going long, but it gets on him so quickly that you can't really get out of the way of it. Comes back onto the park side. De Los Santos set middle. Popped up in the air. Diving save. There by Farmer. Comes back onto the park side, and then all sorts of confusion there for the Wolfpack. And it's 19 set points for the Bears. As Farmer looking to close this one out on her serve. An utterly dominant first set from White Bear Lake, as just as I say that, Farmer puts one in the net. And Park stays alive for the moment. As, oh, that one clips the top of the net, and it's an ace. There for Amelia Neiman. She gets lucky with that one. You're not trying to do it, but you love when it happens. Giske on the return. Back set, right side, Caligari. Dug out by Asias. Batted over on 2, but Giske there in plenty of time. Otto sets it left side for Mimioya, and that is your first set. 25-7. White Bear Lake takes out this first set. We'll be back with second set action right here on RICCIMediaGroup.com right after this. Back here with set 2. White Bear Lake and Park here in girls varsity volleyball action, as White Bear Lake took the first set by a dominating score line of 25-7. Back here with second set action with camera operator Alex Ritchie. This is JP Doherty for RICCIMediaGroup.com. As it will be White Bear to serve to start this second set off. As the junior Martina Caligari will head back to serve. Get this second set underway. Bears hitting from left to right in the black. Park hitting from right to left in the white. As got it through the blockers and down. There's the kill for Sophia Field. And Park off to a much better start in this set than they were in the last. They're down 11-1 at one point in that first set. Now all of a sudden up 2-0. There's an ace. Maybe they just needed the slow start there in that first set to get them composed. As Allison Rice serving for White Bear. Farmer goes out of the game. Placed Otto, I think. Excuse me, that's number 1 Malaya Reese in the game. Back row attempt there from Amina Alumonle, but it's dug out there by White Bear Lake, and then that one's stuck. Sophia Field and Eva Perrin combining on the block party. And it's a 3-0 Park lead. Set middle for Lee. Batted up into the air. Another try there for Otto. Dug out there by Alumonle, and now they'll set it left side for one Blanchard who missed times the jump. And White Bear get on the board here in this second set. As Maddie Pearson will head back to serve, she'll replace Nimioya in the serving rotation. Flat serve dipping as well, and then miscommunication there as Eva Perrin should have gone for it, but didn't. And let's say 3-2 Park lead now. Pearson serves once more. Floats back over onto the White Bears side. They'll play it slow. Here's Otto. She got rejected. Comes back out. Batted over by Farmer on 3. Alumonle on the dig. Back set. Right side. Tapped over the blockers. Giske diving save. And now swung at there by the setter, Abby Meyer. They'll go back behind the 10-foot line there for Blanchard. Here's Farmer. De Los Santos there to cover. And that one ended up in the net, but De Los Santos will bat it over on 3. Set middle for Lee, and she got solo blocked there by Field. 4-2 lead for the Wolfpack. But if you are just joining us, White Bear Lake took the first set in dominating fashion, 25-7. But there's a block there from Park. They lead this second set 4-2, and they're getting plenty of blocks, but that'll be the kill for Reagan Farmer. It's another one on the board for White Bear. Farmer's third kill to go along with 3 service aces. Lee serves for White Bear. Dug out there by De Los Santos. Back set, right side, tapped over. Meyer on the set right for Otto. Gets that one down with a nice little roll. And we're tied up at 4. Lee to continue serving. Second kill there for Otto. The sophomore as Lee floats that one in there. That's an ace for Addison Lee. This is something we're seeing That was different from last night's game against Anoka. There were hardly any service aces in that entire match. That went 5 sets. Anoka taking that one out over White Bear. White Bear getting plenty of aces in that first set, as that one is wild from Sophia Field. And it's a 6-4 White Bear lead, 4-0 run for the Bears on the serves of Addison Lee. Flips the top of the net, and that hit the ground. Yep. As Lee, you're not trying to do that ever, but you love it when it happens. More trouble for Park on the service return. It's an 8-4 lead for White Bear. You wonder when Park want to burn that first time out of the set. 6-0 run now. So Lee will serve again. Another rocket at De Los Santos, and they're dipping in front of her, and she's not judging them correctly. Tough on the 8th grader that's been tasked with trying to return these serves. Lee goes hard to the back again. De Los Santos with a better pass that time, bumped over on 2, but my link's there to stuff it out. There's Alawonle, and there's the kill. That one, there was no stopping from Mina Alawonle as she gets her first kill of the night. She has definitely looked like their best player so far tonight. As De Los Santos puts that in the net. It's a 10-5 White Bear lead. As Otto will head back to serve. That first set took a grand total of 16 minutes, by the way. White Bear to win that one 25-7. Back set, right side, tapped over. Giske there in plenty of time. Back set for Caligari. Didn't get all of it, but you got to hit them where they ain't. And she did. As Martina Caligari gets another kill, her third of the night. For the lefty junior. As Otto fired him. That's all right. I think that was going deep. Bump set from De Los Santos. Alawonle. Giske digs it out. Set left side for Farmer. Misjudged it and then sort of flailed at it. And could only put it in the net. 11-6. Ziva Perrin, the sophomore, now serving for the Wolfpack. Right to the back, bump set, and now this is going to be a big swing from Caligari from the back row. There's the kill. So not the greatest ball control on that attack from White Bear Lake, but Caligari gets it done. My good friend Kylie Zumach says, you got to be able to hit the garbage as a hitter. Set right side, Caligari. No stopping that as she goes up the line this time. As she gets much better service from her setter. Otto currently in there setting for White Bear. Set for Alawonle, contest of the net, easy win for White Bear. Don't know if Link or Caligari got the last touch. Give another one to Caligari, why not? Good hard serve there from Farmer. Bump set for Alawonle, tapped over. Plenty of time, though, for Nyamioya. And now, that was tough for Caligari. Had to reach behind her head to grab that one. And now Alawonle just taps it over on 3. Giske with the set this time. Caligari lets rip. Wow. Clean cross-court shot there to get the point. Caligari now takes the kill lead in the game with 7. Farmer's got 6 for the Bears. Free ball coming for White Bear. Set middle and length. Yeah, there's no stopping that. When you get good quick ball movement like that, Middle blockers can't get their feet set, and you just have a free gravy train to a kill. You're mile link on that occasion. Well, Park, they haven't taken the timeout in this set. I'm surprised. They're down on 16-6. Tapped over on 3, and nobody went for it. Rare miscommunication from White Bear Lake. We hardly saw one at all from them in all 5 sets against Anoka last night. As Reagan Farmer gets replaced by Malaya Reese, the freshman, as Alawonle will serve for the Wolfpack. That clipped the top of the net. Giski had to take it from her knees. There is Nimioya. Had a big night last night. Only Bear in double-digit kills, but that'll be a point for the Wolfpack. So they get more points in this set than they did on the last one, at least. As they get up to 8. As Alawonle puts that one in the net. As Maya Link and Addison Lee come out of the game. Ari Jaxie into the game for the first time, and senior number 6. As Giski serves. Tapped over the blockers. There to cover was Otto, I think. And now Caligari. Right out there. Free ball coming for White Bears. That's just whacked over, and now Giski. I think that's the first time I've seen her mess up one of those that badly. And that, we're counting 5 sets last night and a set and a half tonight. That's, I think, just the first straight-up mistake that she's made from her libero spot, as that's put in the net by Neiman. That's Caligari, the junior. That's rip. Floats over, and there's the upper pass kill for Ari Jaxie, the senior. Her first of the night. Caligari continues serving. Set middle for Field, and Reese couldn't dig that one out. One part get into double digits at 19-10. Back to the start of the serving rotation for Park as Allison Rice comes up. Giski from a knee. And Nimioya got it down. First kill tonight for Pearl Nimioya, who led the team in kills last night in the loss to Anoka. You missed that one. White Bear was up 2-0 in that game, and then the Tornadoes came roaring back, won the next 3 sets, including 16-14 in the 5th. As Maddie Pearson puts that one in the net. London Blanchard now serving for Park. Giski, back set from Meyer, and then into the net from Otto. So Park fighting here in this second set. Definitely been outplayed so far in this one, but still hanging around. If they can get a good run, this set is not impossible to come back. From a 20-12 deficit as Farmer absolutely ripped that one straight at De Los Santos. And sometimes there's just nothing you can do as a returner against one that's hit that hard. That's just, that is horribly unlucky if you're Park. And that's an ace for Jaxie. She immediately covered her mouth out of embarrassment as she shanked that off the side of her hand to clip the top of the net, and it just died. As that one goes into the net, I think that might be a little bit of karma for the last one. As De Los Santos, the 8th grader, heads back to serve for the Wolfpack. Giski had a bit of trouble with that one. Bump set left side for Farmer. De Los Santos on the return. And tapped over there by Alawonle, and now on the scramble for White Bear. Giske can't get it over on 3. That's 4 ball. And a point for Park as it's now 22-14 in set number 2. De Los Santos continues serving. Another dipping serve that Giske had trouble with. It's an ace for the 8th grader. I think as Giske, I think you just got to take one step further than you initially thought up from where you were. And now that one goes hard to the back, and Giske watches it go out. As Meyer gets replaced by Caligari for White Bear. Otto serves. De Los Santos sets it left side for Alawonle. Back out there by Giske. Tapped over on 2 by Link. That was clever. And Alawonle gets it back over on the White Bear leg side. Giske there to cover. Here's Farmer. Just took a swing at it. De Los Santos had to scramble to get after it, but that'll fall to the ground, and it's 9 set points. As Otto will continue serving, the sophomore. Trying to close out this second set. Bump set to Field, and now trying to dive to make the save there was Pearson, but couldn't do it. As that gets it to 24-16. Of course, I double tap the scoreboard. And it'll be up to Wolfpack to try and get all the way back here from 24-15 down. But Caligari says, I'll have enough of that. Thank you very much. And that'll be a second set for White Bear as they take this one out 25-16. So they've won both sets so far, 25-7, 25-16. We'll be back with third set action right after this on RICCIMediaGroup.com as White Bear try and close it out. Welcome back to White Bear Lake Area High School. 2 sets in the books. Bears leading 2 sets to none. As they took the first 25-7 and the second 25-16, along with camera operator Alex Ritchie. This is JP Doherty for RICCI Media Group.com. Glad to have you along with us here, as it will be Park to serve to get us back underway. Park in the white uniforms hitting from right to left. White Bear in the black hitting from left to right. As Allison Rice will serve to get us back underway. Giske couldn't handle that one. It's an ace. Quick 1-0 lead for Park. As Park coming in at 1-7, started out on a 6-game losing streak to start the season. Won over St. Paul Central, their lone win, and then lost last time out to New Life Academy. As White Bear got a scramble, Giske just hits it over on third. The middle, tapped over the blockers, Giske there to cover. And there's the lefty Caligari straight into the block. London Blanchard with the rejection on that one. Error there from Rice, and White Bear get on the board in those third sets. As the free swinging lefty, Martina Caligari, gets an ace to tie us up at 2. Just a junior, by the way, Caligari. Still not committed to a college, so just a junior. One I'm shocked that hasn't committed yet is Giske. I think she could be one quality player. I'm watching her for 5 sets last night and 2 tonight. As Caligari serves once more. De Los Santos digs it out. There's the set left side straight into the net, I think. There from Eva Perrin. Otherwise, Addison Lee had it covered. It's a 4-2 White Bear lead. Caligari. Another rocket of a flat serve. That might have rotated twice. As that's tapped into the net there by Sophia Field. As the difference, the ball control has just been so much better from White Bear Lake. I mean, it's not entirely Park's fault. Some of these are rockets coming in, especially off the serves from Caligari and Farmer. As Perrin will take a swing. There's a touch on that, and then deflected into the White Bear Lake students. Except for Meyer. Oh, she went over on 2. That's the first time we've seen her do it tonight. It might have been the first time we've seen her do it in 2 matches that I've seen, but it works that time. And Meyer gets the kill. 6-3 lead for White Bear. De Los Santos digs that one out. Set middle, tapped over. Meyer there to cover. Giske bumps that left side. Farmer got it through. As that is just sheer willpower. As much as, you know, it's physical power, it's sort of just mental willpower, like I will get this through, regardless of what you're trying to do about it. 7-3 lead. Pearson floats another one in there. Bump set. It's going to be a free ball coming here for White Bear Lake. That would have been out, but it was played anyway. And Farmer got rejected. White Bear scrambling. Keep it alive. Nicely done. There's Alawonle, got it through the blockers. And Amina Alawonle gets the kill for the Wolfpack. Gets it to 7-4. As De Los Santos will serve. As trouble here for White Bear. That'll be an ace for De Los Santos. As Pearson couldn't handle that serve. Well, Santos serve Giske there. Meyer for Lee, you missed it. And it's 7-6. Park putting up a good fight here in this third set. They were really blown out of the gym in that first set, 25-7. Second set was reasonably close, and now this third one, pretty even. Oh my goodness, that was a rocket from Farmer. What a dig from Blanchard. And there's Nimioya with a rip. Well, sorry, that's Otto. And missed that one long. And we're even at 7. Haven't seen much of Pearl Nimioya tonight. Number 16. Bump set from Meyer for Farmer from behind the 10-foot line. Takes a swing. Comes back onto the White Bear side, and Farmer gets the overpass kill. 8-7 lead. For White Bear, Farmer leads the game with 8 tonight. Don't think they're going to quite reach Hayden Reeders from Anoka's tally last night. I had her at 30. I checked the stats last night. She had 33 kills. Of course, that game went 5 sets, so kind of helps out, as that's a double there from Farmer. Should have just left it for Link. I think they could have kept it alive. But always tough to do that during the scramble. Knotted up at 8. As Perrin. Serves. And free ball coming for Park as the ball control beginning to desert the Bears slightly. That one's just swung at and dug out there by Pearson. Set right side. Tap for Otto. Nothing there as comes back onto the White Bear side. Giske. Meyer went on 2. Good reactions, though, as they'll set it middle for Link. De Los Santos on the dig. As De Los Santos takes a swing on 3. Set from Meyer for Otto. Got it down. As she went with the soft shot up and over the blockers. They got a little touch, but couldn't do anything with it. As Caligari will come back into the game for Meyer. So most likely Otto will shift to setting as she heads back to serve. De Los Santos. And now Caligari from behind the 10-foot line takes a swing, set middle, and straight into the block. Link got that one. As Maya Link, the junior, it's her third of the night by my count. Another serve from Otto. That's tapped over on 2 by Rice. And comes back onto the Park side. Total miscommunication there as that one falls to ground. And it's an 11-8 White Bear lead. This game cruising along, man. Only 1 timeout was used by Park in the first set. They didn't use any of their timeouts in the second set. So we might be getting real early. Just Otto middle for Link. Dug out there by the Wolfpack. And here's Alawonle. That's long. As sometimes you just hit a ball a little too clean. And Alawonle did that on that occasion. That just sailed a little bit on her. Got to drive that ball a little bit more down into the hardwood. As that'll float it over, and White Bear electing to play it slow, and it doesn't work out for him. Free ball coming here for Park. As Alawonle takes a swing from just in front of the 10-foot line. Giske on the diving save. And Farmer with the left hand. The righty sticks out the left hand and gets the kill with it. Reagan Farmer. Sometimes, as a right-handed player, you just got to be able to do that. Stick out the left and do something with it. Bump set. Alawonle straight into the block as Link and Reagan Farmer combine. Timeout called by the Wolfpack. 14-8 White Bear Lake here in set number 3. Looking to close this out in a sweep. We'll be back right after this. Coming out of the timeout, Otto continues serving. At a 14-8 lead for White Bear Lake, and she gets an ace straight out the timeout. As Otto gets her second ace of the evening to go along with 3 kills. As that one falls on the Park side, and it's another one on the board for White Bear Lake. They're doubling up the Wolfpack here in this third set, 16-8. Here goes Otto again. Oh, that one got up in the face there of Emily Vargas, as sometimes that'll happen to you. Alawonle, nice dig there from Farmer, as Caligari will have a swing. De Los Santos floats back over onto the White Bear side. Giskin plays it slow, set middle link. What a dig that was. And then Farmer with another rocket, as that one flies all the way back into the Park JV players sitting behind the Wolfpack. As Armasias will come in for Emily Vargas for the Wolfpack as a defensive substitution. 18-8 Bears. As that one's under the net from Otto, you could kind of hear it. It sort of thudded off the hand instead of coming off clean like it should have. And Alawonle will head back to serve. Giske bumps it over on 3. Free ball coming for Park. Set middle. There's a touch on that, and that's kill for Sophia Field. Park get up to double digits. 18-10 is your score. In set number 3, White Bear looking to close it out. Up 2-9. Set from Otto, right side, Farmer, way long. It's it to 18-11, and Alawonle will continue serving. Right out there by Caligari. Set it for the lefty on the left-hand side. Gets the kill, and De Los Santos couldn't do anything about it. But deflect it back into the corner down there. 19-11 Bears. Farmer with a wild serve on that one. And that gets it to 19-12. And Amelia Neiman will head back to serve for the Wolfpack. Caligari takes a swing. That was going out, but it was played anyway. Tapped over on 3, and then Lee batted it back, and now Giske's got to get it over. But nope. I'll get it to 19-13. Park continuing to hang around here. Long. And you can't have service errors at any time, again, but especially when you're down to your last 5 points. As Giske will head back to serve. Sure, she's got ideas of finishing it on her own serve here. Bump set left side, free ball coming to White Bear. You had Otto back to Pearl, and she gets the kill. Again, got to be able to hit the garbage, as that was not the greatest set in the world from Otto. It's kind of mistimed there by Nimioya. And miscommunication there from Park. I mean, the free ball coming for White Bear. Dug out there by Reagan Holm. As Caligari will get another one on the board, maybe. No, De Los Santos, and it floats back. Oh, that was actually Lucky there for Park as it deflects off the top of the net and then hits Nimioya in the face. The double whammy there for Nimioya. She mistimes it and then gets smacked right in the face with the ball. Still Park down to their final 4 points here. Back row attempt from Nimioya. De Los Santos digs it out. And now swing from the back line, and that's 4. So Park get another one on the board. It's only a 6-point deficit here, 21-15. That was not the greatest pass in the world from Caligari. It floated into the net. And all of a sudden, 21-16. Here come the Wolfpack. If they can somehow pull this set out of the fire, imagine the momentum swing heading into a potential set number 4. Giske. Otto set right side for Caligari. And that looked more like the White Bear Lake that was in the first 2 sets. Caligari gets up to 9 kills on the evening. Got Farmer with 10, leading in the game. As there's an ace for Caligari as she heads back to serve fresh off the kill. Gets the ace. And now she's got 4 aces to go with her 9 kills. Giske, Otto. Ooh, tried to fling that one left side from Nimioya. Wasn't expecting it and could only get it straight into the block. I like the idea from Layla Otto there. Just Nimioya wasn't anticipating it. One Blanchard serves, and that'll be 7 match points here for White Bear Lake as Blanchard commits the service error. And it'll be up to senior captain Maddie Pearson to try and close this one out as Farmer comes back in as well for the Bears, replacing Holm and Nimioya respectively. Pearson serves. De Los Santos can only put it in the stands, and White Bear Lake takes this one out by a final score of 3-0. 25-7, 25-16, and 25-17 are your set scores as the Bears sweep the Wolfpack. They'll improve to a record of 4-3 on the year. Park will drop to 1-8 as the Wolfpack take this one out. 3-0 is your final as they win set number 3, 25-17, and sweep the series over the Wolfpack 3-0. So one final time for my camera operator, Alex Ritchie. This is JP Doherty for RICCIMediaGroup.com signing off, and be sure to tune in to our rest of our coverage this week. I know we got a soccer game going on right now, so you can tune into that. But again, RICCI Media Group is looking for sponsors to join the team, so email sales@RICCIMediaGroup.com. Again, that's sales@RICCIMediaGroup.com. But for camera operator Alex Ritchie and director Alex Ritchie, this is JP Doherty signing off for RICCIMediaGroup.com. We'll see you next time, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your evening.